Hello. I am thinking that this is a great opportunity to share some stretches for after running or also just chair stretching in general. So I just finished a run, mostly walk, but I'm going to stretch it out now. So let's see. You're not going to be able to see my entire body, but I can definitely tell you what's going on in my feet. So I'm stepping my left foot back. I don't have enough room here. There we go. And then just pushing into my toes and lifting my heel. So we do this a lot in our chair yoga class, where we're just stretching out the toes and getting into the foot. This area of our body holds a lot of stress. It gets tighter as we get older. Now drop your heel down and we're gonna count, and I just automatically stepped my right foot forward. So find a nice stretch through your calf. This is a great stretch for the Achilles, which is the area right above your ankle. Fun Greek mythology story is that Achilles was dipped into water, I guess so that he was invulnerable to anything, and only the area of the ankles, above the ankles, he was vulnerable. That was the only place he could get hurt. Achilles means pain. Let's step that foot forward, switch sides, push the toes down, lift the heels. So the reason that the Achilles was the only area that Achilles was vulnerable to being hurt is because that was the area that his mother held him as she dipped him in the water. Just thought that was a fun little story to share. Drop the heel down, let's stretch through the Achilles. So again, I automatically just stepped my left foot forward to get into that calf stretch a little bit deeper. My dad and I used to go running a lot. That was something we did a lot. We'd go to Luke Garrett Middle School, and there was a 1 mile trail through the woods, and this was his main stretch for running. But also in yoga, this is called a lunge. You can practice your balance by bringing your hands to your heart. Let's step that foot forward. Now, downward facing dog with the chair. I'm going to move my chair here, bringing my hands about chair width apart. Step back and push your hips back. Lower your head so that it's in between your arms. So my ears are right in between the arm space. Now when we get here, we're feeling a stretch in our upper back, our hamstrings, the calves, the low back even. My low back, I woke up with my low back a little bit tight this morning, so I'm feeling it there as well. Now breathe into all those sticky spots, the areas that you're feeling that are really tight. 2 more breaths. And then start to walk it forward. Taking our feet about a little bit wider than the chair. This is one of my favorite stretches for running because we get into the inner thighs and the low back when running for some reason. I guess it's all working when we're running, but it just gets tight in general. So I'm going to turn my right toes out to the right, and my right leg is straight. So see if you can kind of see that. My left toes are pointing straight towards the camera, phone, whatever. And just tip down, but keep the tailbone in line with the head. And you can hold on to the chair with either hand. Breathe. So typically in our chair class, I'll have us, if we do this pose, hold onto the chair with the left hand and reach the right hand down, but keep pushing your chest towards your chin and revolving the hip that's closest to the ceiling, revolve it back. Come up, we'll switch sides. So now I'm turning my right toes towards the camera, left toes to the left, using this hinge So I'm moving from my upper body, my lower body stays the same. I'm sending that right hip back and reaching the left hand down, and you can take your right hand to your hip or to the back of the chair. And just take a few breaths into that. And then come up. Another great stretch I like to do when I run is a straddle split. So taking, you can use the higher part of the chair or the lower part of the chair. We'll take our feet out pretty wide. Your toes point straight forward. And again, you hinge from your hips and lower down. And I'm bringing my forearms to the seat of the chair and just resting here. Maybe you're taking your feet out a little bit wider. That's cool. You can have them a little bit closer together. You can be on your palms and we could still be feeling the same stretch. You're just feeling the stretch that feels good for your body. And we're stretching really the backs of our legs, insides of our legs, and the outsides of our legs. And strengthening our ankles. Take a couple more breaths here. If it feels good to kind of find a little movement, you're maybe feeling a massage through the muscles and releasing just a little bit more, feel free to do that. All right, we'll come up. And this is such a great stretch. What we're about to do is such a great stretch for your low back. It may not be accessible in the moment. Actually, I'm going to offer a modification. So hold on to the back of the chair. And if you can get your foot up into the seat of the chair, go ahead and do that. And you can just, this can be the modification. If you can bring the knee in towards your chest, this is going to give you a good stretch in your low back. And through that hip, maybe get some ankle rolls here. And reverse the rolls. Oh, that's very nice. And then, if you have a strap, this will be easier. Reach back, catch that ankle, and pull the foot towards your bottom. It may not get anywhere close. It's okay. If you have a strap or something wrapped around your foot, you can have it far away and still be stretching your quadricep. But don't do it if it's too much. Don't worry about it. An option, maybe I have actually a little couch behind me, is to just rest the foot on something behind you, but make sure you're holding onto something in front of you. All right, second side. Either opposite foot comes to the seat of the chair and you can kind of lean into it, or you can hug that knee in tighter. So if we're doing this, the tendency is to kind of crouch into it, but just lift through the chest and lengthen the low back. That gets deeper into the hip, but do what you can, however you can, and breathe into it. You can roll the ankle, reverse the rolls, and then reach back. This is a great stretch for our quadricep. This is an area that we don't stretch a whole lot. We're usually bending right through the hip flexors and kind of not giving a lot of attention to the front of our legs as far as the stretch goes, especially in our yoga class, because we're doing lots of forward folds. Speaking of forward fold, let's go ahead and take a seat in the chair. I'm taking my feet a little bit wider, and then I'm just reaching down towards the ground. You can rest your forearms on your thighs. This may be a nice stretch for your low back as well. If you have another chair in front of you, you can grab two chairs and you can pause, and these are just suggestions. I know this isn't really a flowy kind of class, but I'll do one, I promise. I already promised I would do it. So take your feet just out in front of you, mine are on a chair in front of me, and just reach down and grab onto whatever. It can be your shins, it could be your ankles, it could be your toes, and just breathe into the backs of your legs. Softening with every breath. Now think about lifting your toes towards the ceiling. think we're good. Have a happy Friday.